Hey, what's up everybody? I wanted to make a video on branded Dracotail, specifically just Dracotail, and how to use your cards correctly, especially since the deck has now gained a lot of popularity. I feel like cards like Retaliating C and Fuwa specifically are being used incorrectly, and I feel like when they use incorrectly, you get the least value out of them, and that's why Dracotail keeps on winning, because people don't know how to use cards, and they just gain too much advantage by you misusing your cards. So we'll get right into some replays. So we can see here, I'll go Mad Love. I have already the start in hand, so I'll just try to bait an Ash Blossom, which he rightfully holds. Makes sense. He doesn't fall for it. So here go on res. He doesn't decide to drop full. I'm like, okay, no problem. Add a Mad Love back to hand. And then I go Izuna, send Lupus. He fools here. I decided to not give him any draws because game 1 I have no idea what he's playing, and I'd rather just keep the Lupus as an unknown. An unknown level 5, rank 5, sorry, and I'd rather just wait, because if it's a Ripper, if Ripper's the best rank 5, I can gain a lot of value from Exor's release. And if Ripper's not the correct choice, I can decide on the spot what to make. He goes Banner Fusion. I instantly go into Ripper, because whatever he sends, I don't want him to get like any value from it. I want him to use the Albion effect, or because I know how the branded cards work, so I know he has to either make Sanctifier, which doesn't do anything on his turn, or he has to make Albion or Lubellion, which require discard, which is very hard for Dracotail, discarding cards. And I was like, I have to make Ripper just so I can negate the branded card in the grave, or to force it out, or to force out some kind of play that he doesn't really want to do. So here, see, he goes Albion. As soon as I see the Albion, so here he can't make Albion. Later on I realized that he can't make Albion. Then he makes Lebellion. As soon as I see the Lebellion, I know Chaos Star Source Dragon is coming next, which is going to pop these two, or most likely these two, because these two are unknown, except for the Snow Devil. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Since now my Ripper is negated with Malulu, he's gonna go chain. I chain X-Force release to pop the Rahu, and that way I get a lot of value from my cards. And then the Werewolf will check any of his starters. Except for maybe Ketu, it doesn't check Ketu. But game 2, this is very important. See, as you see here, we have, so let me show my hand. So here we have Fuwa and Retaliating C. Now I have no idea what's in his hand. You guys obviously saw. But I have no idea what's in his hand. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. I have Fuwa and Retaliating C. Now if you have Fuwa and you know you're against Dracotail, you should always drop in the standby phase, because the reason is because Dracotail plays against Smarter and Smarter, and they now they understand Fuwa and Retaliating are real cards post side, and you want to get value from your cards. You don't want to neg one with a Fuwa, especially when your you know your opponent is gonna at least give you one draw. So here, since I've got both of these, I want to hold them. I want to hold them and want him to commit. I want to get value from both of these cards. If I drop Fuwa in the standby phase, my opponent will most likely not play that much in the Retaliating. Obviously, it depends from hand to hand, but most likely they won't play into the Retaliating. They'll just go Faimena or Malulu, or if they're forced to, they'll go like a Branded Fusion or Rahu to give me one draw and pass. But here I want him to kind of play into Retaliating, and I want to get more value from my Fuwa. So, but if I only had Fuwa, I would drop this in the draw or the standby phase, just to play around Faimena, because I want to get a value from my Fuwa. So here goes main phase. Look here, so I know he's gonna add Faimena here. So look, he had a pan, so he had a Faimena in hand. So here I already can tell he's got a very engine heavy hand. So which means that's a very good hand for the Dracotail player. So here goes Branded Fusion. Now here I can decide to chain Fuwa, but the thing is, since I can already read a Faimena, what he will do is he will just chain the Faimena to the Branded Fusion. But I want to get value from all of my cards, so I'm gonna chain Retaliating C here. Um, that way he's forced to Faimena. He's forced to Faimena to get value from his Dracotail cards. So here I got Retail C, and my opponent will 100% go into Faimena. He has to. There's no way he can't. I change Faimena, then I change Fuwa. So now my Fuwa it just went +2 because I'll get a draw from the Branded Fusion, because Branded Fusion will resolve unless he's specifically drawn Fallen of Albaz, which then it won't. But other than that, Branded Fusion will resolve, and so I'll get 2 draws from my Fuwa, and my Retail C will also resolve, meaning he can't make Sanctifier, neither will the cards he sent from Branded Fusion, specifically the Dracotail cards, will not get any value. So here it decides to send these 2. Yep. So he sends Malulu. Like I said, he does not want to send Frixel. So here goes Lobelion. One of the best things and one of the worst things about the branded package is that it beats Retail C, but it requires a heavy cost, and the cost is the discard for Lobelion. Even though they have an out, it does not mean the out is efficient. They still have to use a lot of resources to out the Retail C. So please do not cut Retail C from your side deck. Retaliating C is a very, very strong deck. It's a strong card against this engine. No matter what people say, this card is very, very good against this deck. Do not take this out. So see, he has to discard the Rahu. We didn't know this card was Rahu, but if it was a monster, he would have lost a lot of value. So he decided to add everything back and pop the Retailing C. I'm like, okay, no problem. Now here he goes again Rahu. Now you have to understand, I didn't want to chain the Full off. I wanted to chain the Retaliating C so I can get value from my Retaliating C. I want him to go neg. Right now he's already so many cards down. He has 1 flame, which will incur 1 resource. He's gonna lose either the Urgula or the Pan, and he's gonna lose another resource just to make a Mululu, which does nothing. Because our VS deck can easily beat his trigger effects of Mululu. So here, I was just waiting for him to give me the thumbs up. Please remember, whenever you're in real life or DB, do not ever make your hand traps apparent to your opponent. Like here, I want him to give me the thumbs up so I could then Fuwa again, just to get two more draws from the Rahu. But he does not give me the thumbs up, so I just wait. I just wait because I'm waiting for the thumbs up. And then here he admits defeat, and I just draw 2 cards just to see my top decks, my 2 draws I would have potentially gotten from the Rahu, and he was never in a winning position after this. And here is another game. So here this is game 1, and I have no idea what he's playing. So I want to get full value from my cards, and I never drop shifter, and you shouldn't drop shifter unless you get value from the shifter in the draw phase when you know the matchup. But here you never ever want to drop shifter game 1, because you want to get value from all of your cards. It's very important to make your cards in your hand as live as possible to get the full value from them. So this is game 1. I decide not to drop shifter in the standby main phase because I want to get value from shifter. This changes Faimena, and he doesn't have the punish for the shifter because he could have gone like normal summon Mululu, use effect, chain Faimena to the shifter, and I would have lost some value from my shifter. But he doesn't have the punish game 1, but neither do I know that he is playing Dracotail, so it doesn't make sense to drop shifter in the draw phase. So he asks about Faimena, I'm like, no problem. And here he's in a very losing position. he decides to Ash the Joker. I'm like, no problem. He can't droll me, so I'm not scared of droll. Faimena is practically dead at this point because Faimena will lose a lot. The fusion will lose a lot of value because everything in turns will go get banished. So I'm like, no problem. I'm gonna make a Ripper. I was trying to make a Ripper, add Izuna, go for Case, add Lupus, because Izuna, whoever he sends is going to get banished, so I have to add Lupus to hand just to get an additional rank 5. And then here I go for National. And yeah, I have to declare, I pop this just to the force release. So here, I know the value of my cards and I know the value of his cards. So here I go Umbral Horror because Umbral Horror checks Mululu and it checks Lucius, and Ripper checks Faimena, so I know the value of my cards. And X-Force Release will check any set cards, but Ketu and Rahu is very strong. That's why the Dracotail deck is very strong, because Ketu and Rahu are very good board breakers, especially Ketu. Especially Ketu because he's quite good. So he goes follow the virtuous, target this. So this gives me a read that he's kind of gone out to Ripper. Because usually would target Ripper because I know of one Faimena. So here I look at Arthalion and I don't think Arthalion triggers because Umbral Horror and Arthalion are sent to the grave at the same time. But there were no judges online, so I couldn't be asked to confirm the ruling. But I think Arthalion won't trigger. I will check on the judge, but I don't think Arthalion triggers. But it doesn't matter because I have the bell to deny the Arthalion. Because what he can do, the reason I bell this, and it's very important, like I said, to know the value of your cards. Because the reason I bell this is because if I don't bell this, you can just go special summon and attack with a Ripper, and I just essentially kind of are forced to use the X-Force release, which I don't want to, and I want to hold the Ripper for a Faimena. So then I negate the Albion because I don't want him to in the end phase because there's no threat of Faimena anymore. I know Faimena can't trigger, so I'm like no problem. So here I grab Lantern and just win the game. Very simple. Now I know I'm playing against Dracotail. So now I've got a Shifter, which you could essentially replace that with Fuwa, because I'd use Fuwa the same way that I use Shifter here, is that I drop it in the draw phase or the standby phase to play around the Rahu Faimena combination where you can dump Faimena to play around Shifter. And I don't want him to do that. I want to get value from my cards. So here I go Shifter. He could have easily beaten the Shifter, like got value from his cards. Going to go Lucius, add Pan, and then he goes. If he's a good player, he can go Rahu, and then I chain Shifter. He chains Faimena. He fuses away the Lucius and the Pan in hand, and I will just lose. He will set up 2 trap cards, which will hurt me a lot, and he'll set 2 trap cards and. He'll set up 2 trap cards, and my Shifter will get no value, which I don't want to happen. I want to get value from my Shifter. So here he has Pan, and here, like I said, he goes into Spirit, which I have no idea why he does that, and he uses Rahu, and then here I tell my opponent you're fusion locked because Rahu fusion locks you, and he said Shifter does that to you, and I understand, because Shifter is a very annoying card to deal with. But this is what I'm saying is you have to use your cards correctly against Dracotail. Dracotail is a deck which punishes these kind of hand traps. It punishes you for playing Droll in the main. It punishes you for using your Fu incorrectly. It punishes you for using your Retaliating C incorrectly. This is why you have to learn how to beat this deck. This deck is a resource deck. It's a grind game deck. I would think it's more of a resource deck than even Vanquish Hall itself, because Vanquish Hall is a attribute deck, and but Vanquish Hall has another part of the deck. It has a canine part, which is very very strong in the Dracotail. Dracotail only has Dracotail, except for the 2 times that they do branded fusion. So this deck is a very very excessive resource deck. So you have to understand how to use your cards correctly on this deck. But yeah, just remember Shifter and Fuwa, you should drop them in the draw phase or the standby phase when you know you're against Dracotail. But when you have a combination of Retaliating C or Fuwa, you should wait. You should let them commit, because you will get more value from those cards against Dracotail. But yeah, that's just my little guide on how to on the neat interactions of Dracotail and how to get value from your cards. But yeah, thank you so much.